I got notes all over the place. I have notes and notes
Okay,
and
we
more
are
notes.
live on Facebook and YouTube.
Good evening, everybody. Happy Tuesday.
Happy Tuesday indeed.
It feels like it should be Thursday, or it feels like it should be Friday. I don't know why.
I'll tell you what, I'm still beaming from last night. So
Oh, good. That's
it's been
wonderful.
one exciting, awesome thing after another.
You've had a good week.
I've had a great last 24 hours. I mean, I kid you not. It's just been amazing. Absolutely amazing. Just last 48 hours have been amazing. Just one blooming blessing after another. So
those are good weeks.
Well,
great weeks.
What's the significance with Lionsgate?
Minutes until showtime.
With Lionsgate. 8-8.
I don't know what Lionsgate is. Not astrology. I don't know what Lionsgate is, but it's not astrology. I don't know what it is. I keep seeing it's with the sun and Sirius, but Sirius is just a bright star. It's the brightest star in the sky. It's a good star. And it says they're aligned, but I don't know how they're aligned.
And they're happy stars. All the stars are lining up.
Lionsgate. So anybody can explain Lionsgate to me, because I don't know. I see it, but I don't know what it is.
I don't know either.
So think of this: if you are with CIERA's case and you've got a crime scene that could extend from Atlanta to Indianapolis. Georgia alone has more than 85,000 acres of state parks, 2 million acres of land, 300 acres of undeveloped land. Fulton County alone has 440 acres of parks. So that does not include Tennessee, Kentucky, and Indiana, because Tennessee and Kentucky are just as, unused acreage. Georgia has 37,295. Wait, 37. What is that million? 37,295 total acres, with 15 to 20% are covered in vegetation.
1 minute until showtime.
It's overwhelming. Where would you even begin to search?
You'd almost have to go over with a thermal, and even then you'd have to decipher what's wildlife.
Well,
you'd have to use dogs, something.
Well, how could you use a dog a dog has to know where to go with 85,000 acres of state parks just in Georgia. Kentucky is gigantic with state parks. That's crazy.
Very unreal.
It's crazy.
Your show will go live in 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. Blog Talk Radio.
Viva Las Vegas, baby! It's the 7th annual Spirits Festival at Belle Grove Plantation on September 10th. Enjoy the casino while you sample local wines, mead, cider, and rum, and other distilled spirits. It's a whole day of fun with live music by classic rock band FULTON RBA and singer-songwriter Angelica Balo, food trucks, and tons of vendors. But you won't lose your shirt at the casino, savvy. Tickets include the Belle Grove Bucks to use at the casino tables, and additional Belle Grove Bucks are available to purchase to support the James Madison Belle Grove Foundation. And whatever you do, don't hide the rum. Because your favorite pirate, that's me, will be there making sure you all have a grand time. The Belle Grove Plantation Spirits Festival, September 10th. Get your tickets at bellegroveplantation.com before they're all gone.
Welcome to True Crimes, Mysteries Beyond the Veil. Looking at criminology from a whole nother point of view. And now your host of the evening, Joni Templeton Skinner and Sherry Lynn.
Good evening. Good evening. Welcome to True Crime Mysteries Beyond the Veil. Live on this lovely Tuesday evening on the Rift Radio Podcast Network. This is your host, Joni Skinner, and I am here with my co-host, Miss Sherry Lynn, from our Monday Night Haunted Tales. And we have a great show tonight, Sherry Lynn, don't we?
We absolutely do.
We do, and for our first-time listeners, welcome. Thank you for joining us. We're honored that you are spending your Tuesday evening with us, whether you are watching us on Facebook or on YouTube or listening to us on Spotify or Blog Talk Radio. Thank you so much. We combine forensic astrology, we combine clairvoyance, and paraforensic. Is that the proper way to say it? How, paranormal equipment or paraforensic? What is it, Sherry Lynn?
Paranormal, clairvoyant. I would say paraclara.
Yeah.
That whatever you
Paraclara, because she uses the spirit.
I made a new word.
Paraclara, because she can use the spirit box or the recorder to get some clues. However, Sherry Lynn is very good at just getting clairvoyant clues, and that's how we put that together to assist families of missing persons. Or also we look at homicide, cold cases that are happening now. We also work with families as well. So how are you tonight, Miss Sherry Lynn? Everything going okay?
Everything is awesome. I had a great show last night, an awesome guest last night, and it's been a whirlwind of wonderful things happening all day long today. I couldn't be better. How are you doing?
Wonderful. I'm doing great. For you all, for anybody that missed it last night, Sherry Lynn had on a great guest, and she what did she is she a psychic, a clairaudient, or medium?
She's a clairvoyant on many levels, on different levels, but she is the sister. It's Wendy Weir, and she is the sister to Bob Weir, who's the guitarist from the Grateful Dead. And she started receiving messages from Jerry Garcia after he passed. And the family and his other bandmates started having dreams, and they were all like, what is going on? And she picked right up on it and could communicate with them.
How interesting. What's the name of the book? What's the name of her book?
It's called In the Spirit, Conversations with the Spirit of Jerry Garcia.
That's interesting. The only thing I really know a whole lot about the Grateful Dead is I love patchouli. I mean, because I'm not, but that is awesome though. That's wonderful. Wonderful. Well, tonight we have, we love to hear from everybody. So we have received questions, and I'm going to answer one of those questions this evening. You can either reach out to us on our Facebook page, True Crime Mysteries Beyond the Veil. Just DM us, or you can catch me on Facebook, Joni Templeton Skinner, and Sherry Lynn. Either one of us, if you have any questions you would like us to answer on air, we'd love to hear from you. Any ideas for the show, too, please feel free. But the question this evening is, because we do have some cases that the FBI has handled, some that they do not. And the question was, how does the FBI come in on a missing case or a homicide case? So this is just some general information, but I'm sure, give or take, I'm sure there's some exceptions to the rule. Most often the FBI is asked by local authorities, sheriffs, if they can come in and assist with an investigation. Why is that? Because they have the equipment. They have access to a lot of the equipment, and a lot of the small, police departments just don't have the equipment that the FBI offers. Now, when does the FBI take the official lead in a case? They take the lead in a case when the victim's last known whereabouts were on federal property, such as a park, an Indian reservation, or the victim was on board a commercial ship in international waters. And also, if the missing person is a U.S. president, other elected or appointed federal officials, such as cabinet members, members of Congress, a federal judge, federal prosecutor, federal law enforcement, such as FBI, DEA, IRS, or Secret Service. They come in on those cases as well. They also come in on what they consider a tender age of a child. I had never heard that.
Yes.
The tender age when a child is abducted. They are authorized to immediately come in and become involved if it's an interstate kidnapping or a missing child investigation at a tender age. I've seen it 6 and under, and I've also seen it 12 and under. So I'm not quite sure of the age. Those are kind of the parameters. I don't know if you want to add any more to that, Sherry Lynn, or not.
I've heard, I'm more familiar with the 6 and under but I think 12 and under is probably also included depending on the verbal and mental abilities of the child or children involved. But typically at the age of 6, a child knows their name, and knows their mommy's name, daddy's name. They started elementary school, so they're familiar with a phone number, can recognize mommy and daddy, and can typically speak. But it's not if they have social, or I don't want to say disabilities, but unique abilities, or you know, things they may hinder them, then I think they would go to 1200.
And then they also consider across state lines as well. They can come in immediately. I think the majority of time they are requested by other departments and county and city police departments to assist. They don't take the lead, but they do assist. I hope that answers your question. If anybody has any other questions about missing persons cases or homicide cases or clairvoyance, forensic astrology, drop us a line. We love to hear from people, don't we? We love it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
We love
And
it.
if they want to call in tonight, the number is 1-323-870-3877, and press 1 to come on live.
Yes, please do call in if you have any questions. Now, tonight's missing person case is actually a very fairly new missing person case. Her name is CIERA Breland. CIERA Breland has not gotten hardly any coverage on the media or on social media. So we are asking to please get her picture out there. And as we go on more into the details of this show, you're going to see why. That we need to get this information out there. We need people, especially in Georgia, Tennessee, Kentucky, and Indiana, to kind of think back to February of this year. And we're going to show you a car. We're going to show you her husband. And we are going to show you CIERA Breland's picture. And if any of this is refreshing in your mind, the authorities are asking you to contact them, and we'll give you those numbers as well. So I think this is one of the cases, Sherry Lynn, that social media can really step this up and help this case for this family.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Every possible medium of, or form, any way possible, get this out so we can help.
Absolutely. Now, I'll give you a little background on CIERA and a little bit of a timeline. CIERA Breland was 31 years old. She had a 5-month-old infant. She was a lawyer, quite successful lawyer. She was from the Atlanta, Georgia area. She got a job up in the Indianapolis area, and she moved with her husband, whom she had been married for not long before she had her son. So CIERA married Xavier Breland. And then they immediately had their 5-month-old son. He had children from a previous relationship, so it was kind of a blended family. I'm not quite sure if the other children stayed with them or what those circumstances were. But she was quite successful, young attorney, 31 years old. And I'm going to post all of her posters, missing person posters, and his information. And I'm going to put this on the Facebook page on True Crime Mysteries Beyond the Veil on Facebook so that we can share all of this. So what CIERA and Xavier did, they were up in Indianapolis, and this is in 2022, on February 19th. They took a mini vacation to Atlanta, Georgia, and they stayed at CIERA's family home with her father. Now, on February 20th, CIERA said she was going with Xavier to his family's. Now, her cousin has come forward, CIERA's cousin has come forward and stated that CIERA was planning on leaving her husband. She was at that breaking point. And for many of us, and we all know that at that breaking point, it is very dangerous for women that are involved in domestic relationships, domestic violence relationships, that the break was the most dangerous time. She had a burner phone on her to call for help. She had her work number, her work phone, cell phone, and her personal cell phone. And she told her cousin, if something happens to me, he has done it. She was very frightened. I guess it's a time to reiterate also that when you know you're going to make your break, you have a plan, and you tell your family members, and you get help with your plan. You know, there's always that situation where it can go south very quickly, and I think that's what happened here. I'm not sure. You know, all of the red flags were out. So she had told her family that she was going to stay in Atlanta and not go back to Indiana. And she asked if she could stay with her family members. And so what happened is nobody heard from CIERA after she was seen on February 20th from her family. Now, you know, the details are a little sketchy, but it's come out that on February 20, let's see, February 24th, it's 7:17 p.m. She was caught on camera at her mother-in-law's home, and that was also in Atlanta. Now, the details are very sketchy. We don't know if she left that evening. We don't know. They're just not releasing a lot of information regarding the timeline. So as far as we know, they left Georgia to head to Indiana. However, CIERA's family did not know that she was headed back to Indiana until the police made a call to her family stating that she had gone missing. Her husband had reported her missing on February 25th. Now, he stated at 10 o'clock at night, CIERA was dressed in a pair of shorts. She left her phone. She left her car. She left her credit cards. She left her son. And she went to the store at 10 o'clock at night. It was 20 degrees outside. I don't know, Sherry Lynn. What do you even say to that? What?
I have only gone out in February in a pair of shorts to the front yard as a dare and gone back in. I would no more walk to the store and have a car right there and leave my phone behind in February. No. I'm sorry.
No.
Bring me that story by a garden gnome riding on a unicorn, and I might believe you.
No. Number one, there's not a female anywhere on this planet that goes anywhere, especially to the store, without her phone. Maybe no credit cards because we've got cash in our pocket or something else. But a female does not go anywhere without her phone or her baby. Apparently her baby was her absolute life as well. So,
and why walk? Why walk if you have a car? You know, why walk if you have a car?
Well, you would not. So,
I mean, that
right there is sketch. That right there. So it is also rumored that, and we don't have all of the details regarding this, that Xavier's mother flew up from Atlanta to Indianapolis the following day that she was reported missing. That's sketchy as well. We don't have the complete details on that. Now, Xavier has since been arrested. He was arrested for an old warrant on stalking charges. And I believe it was there were some communications violations, stalking charges, but they were not with his wife. They were with his ex, the mother of his other children. So it just seems like that things just keep coming out from Mr. Xavier. And also, it is also alleged that CIERA represented him on some prior cases. What? God love her heart. So what we did. What?
I wonder if with her being an attorney, did she ever get involved in any federal court cases? And that would be the immediate reason why the FBI would be involved.
Well, she's not a federal judge or she's not a federal employee, so no. I believe they got involved because you're looking at a possible crime scene that stretches from Atlanta to Indianapolis. Where would you even start?
Yeah, I just wonder if she had any open cases that may have, if she was privy to certain information that could be federal related. You know. She may have known too much about her own husband.
I doubt it. From with hers, as far as her being a lawyer, I doubt it, because it was all civil. A lot of her, I don't know how much of hers was criminal. I don't think it was really bad criminal. I'm not sure, but I wouldn't think they would come in on that. So she had told her family, all of us, they claim, she was moving back to Georgia. She also told her parents that the violence was escalating. She was leaving him. She was getting a divorce. So the FBI previously said that she was, see, everybody thought, well, she's missing in Indiana. No. And now the FBI has come out and said she was last seen in Highgate Manor Court in Georgia. So is she missing in Georgia or is she missing in Indiana? Nobody knows. So, and they also had, in addition to the baby, her dog was also in the car with them on this alleged trip back home. So let's take a look at the astrology. And when you look at the, and I know on, if you all, I'll post this as well for our listeners, but the astrology, just the event chart, the crime chart, it struck me funny at first because everything was in one house, and that the house that it was in is like, it's the fun house. It's around where you would find baseball diamonds. You would find amusement parks. You would find casinos, fun areas, big campgrounds. And I thought, well, that's very odd. Until I saw Sherry Lynn's clues. So then it all came together.
Yeah, and then no jokes, folks, listening or watching. I'm just seeing tonight, right before the show started, seeing Joni's astrological chart and her all this, and it was like mind blown how this has all come together. So this is you rock. You rock with this.
Well, the chart shows that it was unexpected. Something happened unexpected very quickly. But when we map it, it'll give everybody an idea of where we think she could possibly be. The chart definitely showed 17. It would be 17 miles or 170 miles. Well, I took 170 miles because it was such a long distance. Now, this was very interesting that someone sent, and this was on social media, and I'll read it. It says, someone sent me a message stating that they used to work with CIERA. She said Baker, who is the dog, was chipped and gave me the online site to see the last location his chip was scanned on Xavier's route from Georgia to Indiana. It was last scanned in E-Town, Kentucky, or Elizabethtown, Kentucky, at or near a bar restaurant called the Wicked Eyed Woman. Now, this is an animal-friendly restaurant. This would have had to have been on the 25th because I don't think he could have made it to Kentucky before they close at 10 p.m. But I'm not 100% sure on that. Common sense just tells me it couldn't have been on the 24th because he would have had to have left after 7:17 p.m. So, and then she goes about, or he goes about saying, I have been given permission to release this. So if you think about that, someone came up with, probably an attorney, that the dog was in the car, and why not scan the chip that's on the dog to find out where he went, because the dog was with him. I think that's brilliant.
Yeah, I do too.
And also, I'll tell you another thing, and people don't know this, but we have done this with true crime cases. When they do check into places, you can go in and find out when people are checking in and where they go on their phones. It's very accessible on social media, and you don't have to say, oh, I checked in here. You will see it. We've pulled it up on people. So with that being said, that narrowed down our entire route that he took. So, for example, when you start in Atlanta, he could have either gone up 75 and gone through Kentucky, through Cincinnati, and then cut over to Indianapolis, or Chattanooga, Nashville, Louisville, and up through Indianapolis. Well, guess what? We know now that he went into Kentucky because of the scanning chip. So what's very interesting, that what showed up on the astrology, I think, is the fact that it gave us his entire route from Atlanta all the way up to Indianapolis. I have never seen a forensic astrology chart do this. It blew me away. So we went from his mother-in-law's house. It took us due west. And then it also takes us straight up. And then it takes us northwest, up on through 75, up to Dalton, cutting over onto Interstate 24 into Chattanooga. Every single line on this astrology chart gave us the direction of where he went. I cannot. I've seen a lot of these charts, but I have never seen one do this. It goes up the yellow lines. If you're watching on Facebook, and again, if you're listening on Blog Talk or Spotify, please go to our.
Bluetooth disconnected.
Hang on.
Oops.
Something's happened to my audio here. I don't know what's happened to my audio now.
Bluetooth connected.
Oh, there we go.
Okay, Sherry Lynn, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Sherry Lynn, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. You're coming in on here, but you're off of the blog.
I know I'm complete. I got booted off completely off of Blog Talk. So what we'll have to do on Blog Talk is we'll upload it.
Hang on, I'm gonna
Sorry, I got completely booted off of Blog Talk. I'm sorry. My screen went blank.
Do you want to call in on the host number?
Sure.
All right, bear with us, folks. Okay, the echo is back. With it reconnected.
There's nothing reconnected. We're not on anything. We're just on Facebook alone. What is it? It's like, what? Okay. What's the call-in? Give me the call-in number.
I'll tell you what, I'll just do it this way, and it'll pick you up from my speakers. And
okay.
I think.
Okay, so now we're back on Blog Talk. I'm sorry about that. My laptop just went completely blank on Blog Talk. I'm sorry about that. I don't know if we're having a lot of.
We're doing fine now.
Good, because I don't know if we're having a lot of maybe a lot of internet issues because I'm in Kentucky, and I know we've had a lot of storms and a lot of issues. I don't think that would be affecting me up here, but I don't know.
Yeah,
so we're back on Blog Talk, right? Blog Talk.
And yep, back on Blog Talk, and they're able to hear you on Blog Talk, and
perfect.
We're not echoing on here, so I think we're good.
Perfect. So to get back to the chart, when I did the astrology chart, I have never seen one that actually took the entire route. Now there are some areas of interest, and when Sherry Lynn and when you look at Sherry Lynn's clues, we have pretty well pinpointed an area that absolutely needs to be searched, because one of the lines on the astrology goes completely through Route 24 in an area around Chattanooga. So if you remember, we were talking about the fifth house, the fun, where everything is happening. Well, right in Chattanooga, there's an area where this is all, there's a theme park, there are parks around, and it cuts through around water near a Love's truck stop on Route 24. A line goes right through there. Now, if anybody is familiar with the area between Chattanooga and Nashville, it's very mountainous. There are some mountainous areas. There's an area as well to check on 24. Everything is on Highway 24. Now, as you can see, and I'll post these, the map takes you, the blue line is the route that he took. The astrology chart follows you all the way up to Indianapolis. The red line that's on the map is usually signified by Saturn. Saturn usually tells us where a body is. Saturn is the body. So, with that being said, we'll come back to him at the end of the show, where you can call in if anybody has seen him on any dating apps, who's seen this person, where we can start to share this around so that the police can gather more information. And now, if you go back, here are Sherry Lynn's clues that she's going to go over. And if you can kind of keep in mind what I went over regarding the map. So here are your clues regarding location, Sherry Lynn.
Yeah, I'd come up with rest stops and check CCTV. I got the cities Marietta and Atlanta in Georgia, Nashville and Chattanooga in Tennessee. Brentwood and Pegram came up, and Brentwood, I know now, is a location in Tennessee.
Yep.
I think Pegram may be as well, and not far along this route. I also picked up that there was a highway detour from the trip, look along the area that, for me, it was like loops where it would be an on-ramp, off-ramp, which makes sense with a rest area or rest stop, truck stop type thing, where you would have traffic that would make you'd have an on and off ramp. River or large body of water along the route. The numbers 22, 28, and 39. Barnacles, a large body of water. Acorn and evergreen trees, some standing, some fallen or used to cover evidence. Park and rest stop kept coming up. Park area, stopped at. Check for aquariums or wildlife reserves for closed caption TV. It was like botanical gardens and parks and amusement parks or general area parks.
And you know what's funny about that is that answers my question of the 5th house of the astrology chart. That's what the 5th house means. All of the planets were in the 5th house. That included her. It included him. It included the car. Everything was around this area, like casinos, theme parks, ballparks, any place where it's fun. You know, it's Leo. It's fun.
Yeah.
Water parks. Well, I don't know about water parks, but now that's the location. And also there is a highway, a route 28 that goes into Route 24 right at that area in the Chattanooga area, headed up toward Nashville. Okay, now here are just regular clues that really didn't kind of relate to location.
It was just so much about nature and tattoos. The arrow, broken arrow. Maybe there's a name of a road, or maybe there's a business name, something, or an emblem or something. January and March being significant months, either a birthday or anniversary. But it was like forest, boots, vase, large rocks, and pink roses, pink roses, pink roses.
Here you go.
Left behind. Someone with medical conditions or in a medical field. And right in that area of where 28 intersects with 24 is the hospital. So there could be that. Studying, again, with the nature, the tattoos, and the pink flowers and pink roses. And serendipity came up with, made me think of CIERA. So it's like, I feel like she's at peace and at rest, but pink flowers and pink roses, a botanical garden, outdoors. It's just so much about being outdoors and in a park.
That is all within that area that came up with the mapping on the astrology right in this area. And it looks like it's right on the Tennessee Georgia border. There's a rest area right there.
Mm-hmm.
A marina and resort, Lookout Winery, Marion County Park, rest area, Love's Travel Stop. There's a line that goes right through Love's Truck Stop. I would take his picture in there. A skydiving company, a whiskey barrel bar and grill. It's just a fun area with Chattanooga. You know, it's just like the 5th house. So I think it's a little bit outside of that. I mean, who knows? It's worth checking.
And there's the body of water and the Sequatchie River. Is that what that is? Am I saying that right?
I don't know.
River that runs right along 24 and 28.
What's very odd about that is Aquarius. Now, Aquarius on a crime chart is where the water meets the land. How interesting is that? Where the water meets the land. It's right off that exit on I-24. And that looks like it's a pretty desolate area. I would search everywhere between Chattanooga and up into the Nashville area.
That I-24 rest area showing up at Jasper, the Marion County Park, and right up to the Love's travel stop.
Right, yeah. Well, that's the beginning. Yeah, that's the beginning right there. I would even go up extend a little further up into this area as well before you get into Nashville. And this is the reason why. Look at 24 right there. How much area that is, that it's very isolated.
And tree houses. Carroll Lodge tree houses. Check your CCTV. Or if you were, what were you doing? You know, a good way to think about it. What were you doing Valentine's Day? And who was in the doghouse for not doing anything on Valentine's Day?
Yeah. Well, yeah, check. Yeah.
Yeah. And think back, what were we traveling just after Valentine's Day? Did we decide to do something after Valentine's Day? Were we in the area? Did we see anything that looked suspect? You know?
Sketch.
Yep.
And that is, and then when we get to his information, there is a public post that it is put out, women of the greater Indianapolis area. This is a public post. Please share it and encourage your friends to share it. Have you been on dating apps in the last year? Did you ever talk to or meet this man? His name is Xavier Breland. He is 37 years old. His wife, CIERA Breland, is missing, and he is the only person of interest. I know he was on Hinge because I've swiped left on him multiple times myself. He was probably on all of the apps. If you have spoken to or met with him, please call the Carmel, and that's Indiana Police Department, at 317-571-2580. And this, it looks like it's Match. So this person is telling us that he was on Match, he was on Hinge, probably on more than that, Tinder, all of them. So we'll post that as well. And again, have you seen this person? And there is a picture of her white vehicle. He is a person of interest, and the authorities in Indianapolis and in Atlanta and the FBI would like to speak to anybody that's got information regarding this.
Take a good look at that photo, folks, that are watching on Facebook or YouTube. And if you're on Blog Talk, listening on Blog Talk, you can look at Blog Talk. Go to blogtalkradio.com, the Rift, and look at the episode on there, and his picture's on there.
Yeah. Absolutely. That's a good picture too. I'll post that on our Facebook page after the show.
Yeah.
And here's another one. To please, if you know anything, please call TIPS 1-800-CALL the FBI, Johns Creek Police Department. So we've got two police departments and the FBI working on this. This man is also known for using aliases. So, you know, please take a good look at him. Here are the circumstances. And if anybody was in the Kentucky area, in E-Town, you know, anywhere in that area, and like Sherry Lynn said, around Valentine's of this year, it's pretty recent.
Yeah. I mean, just think back to what were we doing on Valentine's Day? You know, I mean, sometimes it's just a quick trigger thing like that. Well, where were we? Hey, we were on the road right after Valentine's Day, you know, and did we happen to see that vehicle, or did we happen to see, you know, their dog was a Labradoodle?
Yes. So he would have been a big dog. They're big.
Yeah.
They're big, fuzzy dogs.
Did you happen to see him, at a rest stop? And are you a Labradoodle owner? And you walked up to speak to him at a rest stop, and was he alone? Was he walking the dog to let the dog use the bathroom?
And I think also you would have noticed a man by himself with a tiny baby, 5-month-old baby as well, with a dog, and they were in the white vehicle. Any of those, if they can spark anything to help the police. He is still incarcerated, apparently. At the time, and currently her parents have custody of the baby. The baby was 5 months old. And again, just to reiterate that with cases like this, and they are domestic violence cases, she was taking a lot of precautions. She was a lawyer. She had seen a lot of domestic violence cases. In the private sector, you see them all the time in private law firms. She had a burner phone, and she thought that would keep her safe. But it's also a good idea to have a backup plan with your family members, or just to give somebody a backup plan. This is when I'm going to do it, and have somebody there, and it escalates, and hers escalated. Everything that they say could happen in a domestic violence situation happened here. And it is, like I said, the dangerous time. And we've seen it how many times, Sherry Lynn, that the danger hits.
When you're ready to roll out the door, that's the most dangerous time. And that's why so many will hesitate, because they know that is the most dangerous time. And they look for safe houses, safe places, anything like that. So,
and she had a safe place, but we just don't know what the circumstances were. But, anybody that can share this picture, please. I shared this with our wonderful Mysteries of Kentucky group, and she is now 67,000 strong. So that will get out to, majority of the people in that group are from Kentucky. So that's at least 67,000 eyes that are in this group that will see this information, that they can pass it, and we can get it out in the state. Because he did go through Kentucky, and, people were not sure what part. He would have either gone up through Lexington or Louisville. The chart clearly shows us where he went, and the dog chip came in and confirmed it. So that told us, the route that he did indeed take. And it does take us that way.
And I'll tell you what, any animal that's been chipped, and I can speak from experience, because I had a stray cat come here that it was decided, okay, going to finally let it live here. Took it to the vet for it to be checked out. And they ran this bar over it, and all of a sudden it went beep. And I went, what is that? And they said, the cat is chipped. And I went, what? Okay, chipped with what? They were like, it's got an owner. We'll be back. And I'm like, okay. So they come back and they said, where's the bull mastiff? And I went, I would know a bull mastiff if I saw a bull mastiff. I don't know where a bull mastiff is. They're like small ponies. And they said, well, we can't tell you who. And I'm like, well, who's the owner? And they said, well, we can't actually tell you that. It's private information. And I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. It's a cat. It's a black cat. I don't want it to get harmed. It's been stray. I've been feeding it for like a month now. And they said, we can't give you the owner's name. We have to try to contact the owner. And I said, okay, I'll wait. I'm thinking, this is a black cat. It's got to be somebody that lives near me. And I'm in a rural area. So I'm thinking, my God, it's amazing that this cat hasn't been hit by a car or something by now. Well, they come back and they said, her phone's been disconnected. So I hear her, okay, remember that it's a female. Phone's been disconnected. So they've got to call the chip company. And it's like, okay. And in the meantime, they hand paperwork to me and they're like, do you want to apply for the chip to be transferred? I'm like, this is like adopting a child and needing an act of Congress, a blessing from the Pope, all of the stars to be aligned properly. And I'm telling you, it took a month and several $100s to transfer ownership of what I thought was just a stray black cat that had been chipped. So it is, I mean, they could tell everything about where this cat had been. And the owner, and of course they couldn't tell me the owner, but without getting anyone in trouble, let's just say I was slid some information to look within a certain area.
Well, this chip in this particular case has really, it could be the breakthrough for this. And, you know, it's wonderful if we get the word out.
Yeah.
And I don't know. And again, I apologize. I don't know why my computer shut down again. Maybe it's this new monitor. I don't know. Maybe.
I think you're coming through fine on Blog Talk. So
okay, good. Well, I'm sorry about that. You know, maybe it's this new sensor I'm wearing. Would a sensor do that? I don't know. We'll have to wait and ask computer people.
Joni's got a different kind of chip on her.
See, I've got sensors on and I got radios going on and alarms going off and everything. So it could be that I'm shutting it down. But that is our case for this evening. Thank you all so much for joining us. That hour flew by. I will post everything up on our Facebook page. What else, Sherry Lynn?
What are we doing next week? Or have we?
There is a case out in Idaho that is heartbreaking. It's Monkey Michael Vaughn. He has been missing. And this was a young child that 6 years old, 5 years old, that just disappeared out of nowhere. Monkey is his nickname by his parents. And that's a very sad case. We need to get Monkey's case out there too.
Yeah.
And get some prayers for this family. It's been a year. And this was very rural Idaho. And, you know, I automatically think about RSOs in the area. We're going to talk about RSOs in your area as well, and how you can find out who and where they live and how to find out about the registered SOs. So thank you all for listening. Thanks, Sherry Lynn. Have a great week, everybody. Be kind and smile. And thank you so much for listening.
Monday, Unsealed Fuel Rocking Chair. Tuesday, True Crime, Mysteries Behind the Veil. And on Wednesdays at this time, evenings with Dr. with Saturdays set aside for special events.
Thank you for using Blog Talk Radio. Goodbye.
Okay. Good night, everyone. And thank you for tuning in.
Thanks for listening.